Hey, this is Alex Lindsay, and I'm going to show you how to get some seriously professional results out of this little port right here on your camera, right here in the lab with Leo Laporte.
How are you? Good to see you. Look at a little brum brum car. I'm Leo Laporte, and this is the kind of thing you're going to learn how to make on this show today. No.
Why do you have that?
I don't know. It was sitting right there. It's Darth Vader, I think. Anyway, somebody's been playing with Lego.
Apparently it's Rick Yeager.
Rick Yeager?
Apparently so.
Is this going to be a segment he's going to do?
How to make Lego cars?
Vectors versus pixels, it says here. I don't know. Maybe this is pixels. I don't know. Anyway, we'll find out in just a little bit. I'm Leo Laporte. This is the show where we help you with technology of all kinds. Episode 177. Alex Lindsay is also here. He's going to show you a way to get really high-quality video recordings out of an inexpensive consumer camcorder.
Okay.
Kind of like the stuff that like movie studios would be happy to get. Amazing. And of course, we've got some great calls. We've got your tip of the day. We've got a free file of the day. We've got a shiny from Sean. It's going to be a great show.
Huge.
Huge, massive, gigantic show. But first, let's go to Tasmania.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this.
I'd love to go to Tasmania. Anyhow, we are going to Somerset in Tasmania.
All right.
We have Dr. Chris on the line.
Dr. Chris. Thank you, Kate. Hello, Dr. Chris.
Hello, Leo. How are you?
Oh, what a great picture. I am great. You know, I'm going to Tasmania in the spring.
Oh, you keep saying this, Leo, but you never come over.
It's true this time. It's true. I'm going. You know, we were trying to work something out with the Tasmanian Tourist Bureau to bring the show there, and that fell through. We just couldn't. It was the logistics of it were impossible. But my friend Mika Olin, who writes photography books, has invited me to go on a photo safari with him and a bunch of great photographers. I'm not sure exactly when. It's sometime in the spring, maybe April. I'm really excited about this. So tell me, where should I go in Tasmania?
Oh, where does one start? Well, the West Coast is beautiful, unspoilt, native forest, mountains, lakes. Bring your hiking boots, Leo. You'll be up and down those mountains.
I think we're going to do a lot of hiking. Now, tell me about Somerset. Where is that located?
Northwest Tasmania.
Okay.
We're closer to Melbourne, actually, than we are to Hobart.
Isn't that funny? So you're on the West Coast, then?
Northwest.
Northwest. Great. Well, I'm glad you could be on the show. What can I do to help you?
Yes, Leo, remember back in the days of Windows 3.1 and MS-DOS, we could set up boot configuration so that when you boot your computer up, if you want to run games, you can just load the drivers. I use my computer for work and for pleasure, for gaming, and I'm fed up of having to boot the computer up, then kill processes because I want to play games that are more demanding on the system. I've used auto runs and I've used Process Explorer, but I just wondered if there was a way of doing it sort of the old way, where you have a boot menu when you start your computer up, so you can just load the drivers and not all the bloatware.
Absolutely. You're using Windows XP or Vista?
XP.
Great. I'm not sure yet if you can do it in Vista, actually. I haven't inquired, but you totally can do it in XP, and you need to open the System Control Panel, and you click on the Hardware tab. Now, that's probably why you didn't find this before, because it sounds like you're going to set up hardware profiles. In fact, that's what it calls it, hardware profiles. You'll see there is already one profile current. You can create new ones, copy it, and rename it. So let's call this, you're going to do this for gaming?
Yes, it'll be for, well, I don't run particularly demanding games, but I don't like stuttering. So
yeah. No, I understand completely.
Really.
And Windows has so much stuff running in the background, and that's what you've been trying to clear up. So I've now created a second profile just by copying the current profile and then renaming it gaming. Now what you want to do is you want to log in. When you first start up the machine, you can see it says here, when Windows starts, you can either have it wait till you select a hardware profile, this is just like Windows 3.1, or select the first profile listed. That's what I would choose, but it gives you 30 seconds of a menu. Now when you reboot Windows, it'll say, would you like to boot into Profile 1? Or would you, which you could probably, let's rename this one Big Slow Windows. Or would you like to boot into Big Slow Windows or the Fast Gaming Windows? Now what you need to do is you need to turn off services. I'm going to recommend a wonderful website for this. It's called blackviper.com. He went away for a while. He's back, and this is the most useful site. Black Viper is a gamer. He started this with XP, now has expanded it to include Vista. And what he did is just pure trial and error. What services can I turn off and still have a usable computer? You'll see right here, he has Windows XP Service Pack 2 configurations. He says don't use msconfig or auto runs. He says use services.msc. We're gonna run that right now. This is the services.msc. You've probably seen this. This is part of the system configuration utility, and this is the services part. And these services are all, I mean, there's dozens and dozens of them, and many of them are running. Everything that says started is running. And look how many we've got. Now, a lot of these you probably don't need for gaming. In fact, most of them you don't need for gaming. So what I would suggest is you can go through this and do what he did, which is go trial and error and say, do I really need application layer gateway services? Let's make it startup disabled or manual and see what happens. I would suggest, rather than going through the pain of that, you just follow his instructions. He has a whole list. These are all the services, and he tells you whether you need them, what he recommends if you want speed. So here's the bare bones configuration. So what you've done is you've created a profile using the system control panel, exactly what you wanted to do. Now in that profile, I would suggest disabling everything he says that you don't need in the bare bones. By the way, the application layer gateway service, you don't need it. You can turn off a lot of these things. And now you're going to have, it really, believe it or not, it's going to add 10, 20, maybe even 30% to the performance of your system. All of these services are using up valuable CPU cycles, valuable memory. They really hit your performance. So he's done this for Vista as well. So there's two things you need to know. I'll just reiterate. You need to use the system control panel. It's in the hardware tab to set up hardware profiles. And then you need to use the services configuration utility. And you can get that going by right-clicking Start Run Services.msc and disable those services you don't need. Simple enough. It's exactly, Dr. Chris, what you were looking for, and it's exactly analogous to the Windows 3.1 setup. I'm not sure. I haven't tried this in Vista yet, but I would bet there's something like it in Vista as well.
It's like most things in Windows, tucked away in a corner where you can't find it. I've been looking for this for years.
I know. I wouldn't know either if it weren't for Black Viper. Thank goodness for him. Microsoft's famous for that. It's even worse in Vista. They've got stuff in there. I've been using it for a year. I still, I constantly am surprised, going, wow, you could do that? So thank you very much for the call. I will see you in Tasmania. We'll go to Somerset, and I'm going to knock on your door, and you're going to be surprised.
I'll get to that.
Thank you, Dr. Chris.
Good day, mate.
Good day. Take care. All right, coming up in just a little bit, Alex Lindsay is going to talk about high-quality recording using low-cost cameras. Can it be done? Yes, it can. The lab continues with details right after this. Welcome back to the lab. Here he is, my friend Alex Lindsay of the Pixel Core. One of the things the Pixel Core does is they produce a lot of video shows for a variety of people, for networks, for individuals, for podcasters. And so you really become a video production wizard in terms of getting a lot of value for your money.
Right. And we have big cameras at the office.
You spend a lot of money on a very fancy HD camera.
So we spend a lot of money, but what's amazing is how quickly these cameras, and we've talked about this on the show before.
You spend a little bit of money on this.
A wee little money. Like after you spend money, after you buy a camera that's worth well over $100,000, you feel like you're just almost getting these for free. They're like $1,000 each.
Well, they're like $700 now, and they cost less than the memory card you put in the expensive camera. Exactly. So you're right. It practically is free. This is a Panasonic high-def camcorder that records onto memory.
It records onto memory. So here we go. Here's the little.
This is the HDC SD1. I have an SD5, which I love. In fact, the SD, I think, 9 is coming out very soon. That's going to be 1080p. These are very good quality. They're high. They have 3 CCDs. Right. The problem is they have to compress that video a lot to get on that little card.
And the issue is that the card, if you're looking at even DV or HDV, you're looking at 3.5 megabytes a second.
Okay, that's good to remember.
Okay, that's
3.5 megabytes.
This is about 2.5 megabytes a second.
So it's a lot slower.
It's even smaller. But out of this little port here, this HDMI port, okay, what happens is the video. So video comes out.
So this is like a standard HDMI connector like you have on your
designed,
TV.
It's literally designed to go into your TV. Now,
so the reason they put that on there is because you could hook up the camera.
Yeah, they weren't thinking about what
watch
we're doing.
live TV.
But the issue is that the video comes out of the chip and goes there before it goes into compression.
Oh, interesting.
So you're actually getting
the raw
signal.
video.
So here's if you look at this image here, this is DV is 3.5 megabytes a second.
This is the standard kind of what you would get on your standard digital video camcorder.
Right, and what's coming out of the HDMI is 128 megabytes a second.
A lot more video.
A lot more data. You know, and so it's
that gets compressed down to 2.5 megabytes.
Yeah, that's what it starts to, and that's what's coming out of these cameras.
These things.
Yeah, and so what happens is that if we want to shoot really high quality images to get started, we'd like to have that.
Yeah.
Now all you need is
all you need is what? You must need a monster hard drive.
You know, you used to. We've been doing tests because what we're always trying to figure out is, you know, in the studio or in the Pixel Core headquarters, we've got lots of equipment.
Right.
But our members are all over the world. They don't have that kind of money.
Well, you'd love it if they could buy a cheap camcorder.
Exactly. So how can we get the most out of this? So we're always doing R&D. We've got a new Mac Pro, and we put just we just filled the 3 drive bays that are in there with regular drives.
500 gigabyte drives.
500 gigabyte drives, but they can be 250, it doesn't matter. Okay. They're 7,200 RPM, and we just stripe them 0. So
so you're using RAID to speed up the amount of the speed of the data so that you can write 125 megabytes a second.
It easily does it.
It can do that fine.
230 megabytes a second. And so
that's stock drives using the RAID technology that's already built into the Macintosh.
Exactly. And you know, PCs can do this as well. I mean, you can do it on a Mac or a PC.
Right.
You need a $250 Blackmagic Intensity card.
That's the card that you're going to connect this HDMI to.
Exactly. So that's what goes to this. And so
because you can't, because no PC has, or well, some do, but have HDMI in.
No, none of them.
It's not going to do the job you need because you need to go right to the hard drives, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's going to do all that work for you. Now,
so I connect this HDMI connector to this Blackmagic card on my computer.
Which is like this big. It's like this wee little card.
It's a couple $100. It's going to capture with a video coming off of here and save it to those hard drives.
Exactly. Now, what the difference is, if we look at, here's a picture of our lovely Craig Severson here.
Okay.
And here's the difference.
You zoomed in on it.
I've zoomed in on it, but that's what HDV looks like. And you can see what it's doing. It's this spatial compression is making all these edges. That's what the raw signal coming off the camera is.
Much better looking.
Much better. Now, when we look at actually doing some keys, I'm going to jump into Conduit. Conduit is our little keyer. And here's Kirsten Sanford from Food Science. Dr. Kiki. And here's an image here. Now, what this is, this is the HDV, and this is the uncompressed. It looks fine, right? Mm-hmm. But this is where it gets really interesting, is that if I look at the key, so here's the key that I'm working on here, and I go through here, if I switch, this is just a little switch, see all these edges that are starting to occur over here along this edge? So clean, beat up, clean,
so the higher quality video makes it easier to use a key.
And this is important because if you're trying to do a cool little video for the internet, the cheapest way, if you can get these cameras to work, the cheapest way to have a good-looking show is to have a digital set.
You don't need. It's funny. Ironically, DV is fine for the picture of the host.
Right.
It's plenty good enough, especially if you're going to put it on the internet. But what happens is you can't get good green screen effects.
Exactly, and it is so key if you're doing a school broadcast, if you're doing a small podcast, if you're even doing.
You can't build a set, but if you have a green screen, which is a cheap thing to do, you could put them in Bali. You could put them anywhere.
You could make your own little set. You could put something in. You only need a photograph of it. You know, and so the key is how we've been really trying to figure out how do we do this cheaply. And now you're looking at a basic camera, a basic computer with a couple extra drives, a $250 card, and a cable.
So it's well under $2,000 total to get this done.
You can do that, yeah. Absolutely. So
to get higher quality video than you might get out of a $20,000 camera. That's the thing that's amazing.
It's actually what the cameras that we shoot this show with. You know, here, what they record to their internal system is much lower quality than what's coming out of the side.
Better?
Well, the lenses. There's a lot of reasons those cameras are better.
I'm sorry.
but the data coming out of this little side camera is better than most broadcast.
See, that's
cameras.
what to me is very interesting about digital technology now is just racing ahead so quickly. And then there's little kind of gaps that you and people like you discover where, wow, this is a cheap camera, but it can do something really amazing.
Yes, exactly.
I love that. That's really great. It's empowering people all over the world to make very high quality production. This is the Panasonic HTC SD1. There are many cameras that will do this HDMI output. Look for them.
You want to look for that HDMI out. Most cameras are doing it now, most new cameras, but keep your eye out.
And all of them are doing it pre-compression?
All that we've tested. We haven't tested them all, but all the ones we've tested.
That seems to be pretty common.
Yeah.
Pixelcore.com is the website where you can learn this stuff and then get a job in the business. Pixelcore.tv is where you'll see his prodigious output. Many, many, many shows. Great video stuff. All online at pixelcore.tv. Alex Lindsay, thank you for stopping by. That's very exciting. That's really neat. Now, time to take a close-up look at something you'd find around the lab. Ah, that looks really familiar. Oh, what is it? Oh, it looks so familiar. You feel the same way? I'll tell you what. Think about it. We'll zoom out and find out when the lab continues. You stay right here. All right, I know what that is. That's a release button to release the thing that slides out on the special V-Moda Duo. I got it wrong. Those are the headphones for the iPhone, and that's the button that you do just to pick up the phone.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh, you got to plug it in. Yeah, that's a minor detail. Yeah, that's Sean Carruthers. He takes those pictures with his super-duper macro lens. Fools me every time. Now, Kate, let's get another... Oh, looks like you've got a barrel of monkeys over there. Let's get another caller on
family.
here.
This is Nathan and family from Sydney, New South Wales.
Hey, Nathan.
How you going, Leo?
Introduce us to your children.
It's a bit of a zoo here. We've got 3 kids.
Yeah, who are they? Introduce us.
Okay, we've got Caitlin over here. Say hello, Leo.
Hi, Caitlin. Hi.
We've got Jackson here.
Hey, Jackson.
Say hello, Leo. And we've got Taylor in the middle, who's just 3 months old.
Oh, is he adorable? How did Jackson and Caitlin like Taylor? They getting along pretty well?
They do. They get on very well.
It seems like it. They seems like they love him. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's adorable. And your wife is sleeping, I hope.
No, she's just in the background waiting to grab any child.
Gonna hustle them off if necessary. Well, what can I do for you, Nathan?
I'm looking at getting a NAS so I can, a home network storage, so I can put all the photographs and video and iTunes onto that box. But I'm just wondering if I should get the HP version of the product.
You're talking about the HP Windows Home Server device, which I really, really like.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. It looks gorgeous, the HP Media Smart Server. Very attractive. It should be available fairly soon, if not already. Let me show you a picture of it because it's really cool looking. It's essentially the same thing as a NAS, a network attached storage. The idea is it's a headless computer, a computer that doesn't have a keyboard or a screen. It's attached to the Ethernet, to the network, and it is a central storage unit for all of your systems. So there are a lot of different ways you could use that. You could use them as a backup device, because usually there's a lot of hard drive storage in there, a terabyte or more. But because this is the Windows Home Media Server software running, you can use it for more than that. You could put media on here, video, audio, pictures, and then share that with all these computers. Nowadays, we have so much media, it's silly to have a copy here and a copy here and a copy here. Have one copy on the central server, and then when somebody wants to watch it in these various rooms, they just stream it off of there. And that actually works quite well. You could use a network attached storage for that. They generally run Linux. They're slightly, not hugely, but slightly harder to use because they don't, it's a browser-based interface. It's not Windows. I mean, there's the difference right there. There's another reason that you might want to look at a Windows Home Server, though. It's not merely for ease of use. It's because potentially they'll have a lot more capabilities. We're already seeing a huge number of plugins written for these, and more coming all the time. My friend Paul Thurrott just judged a contest and picked the best plugins to do all sorts of additional things. And so, because it's Windows, right? I think you're going to see a lot more choices than you would on a NAS. It's just it's a bigger market, and so if you go to the Windows, if you go to Microsoft.com/. Windows Home Server and look at somewhere. I'm trying to find it here. I don't know. It's on. I saw it. Oh, here it is. Free add-ins. Oh, right on the top of the page there. And look at the list of add-ins already available. You'll see it's really a ton of them. And you know, I mean, it just goes on and on. You can have a whole variety of things going on under here. And I think this is just the beginning. I mean, this thing just came out. So security.
I know this is only 1.0 version of the product, so I was, even though it is, I've heard such good reviews, and Paul Thurrott, like you say, has raved about the product. So.
Yeah. No, I use a NAS at home, but I have to say, I'm thinking that having Microsoft behind this is creating an economy for these add-ons that is just going to be outrageous. I mean, there are literally dozens of these. Look, here's one that allows you then to do offline backup via Amazon's S3 system. It's called Jungle Disk. I mean, there's just a ton of stuff.
You were talking,
yeah, Sage TV.
Way to also then back up off on online as well.
Exactly. So it gives you this double safety. Here's a TiVo publisher that allows you to play your music, videos, and photos from a Windows Home Server on a TiVo. I mean, it just goes on and on. BitTorrent.
We haven't got TiVo yet.
Yeah, I know you don't have it down under, but you will. You will. That's just a matter of time. So I'm just pointing out, this is, I think, very expansible. And by the way, the HP is very affordable. I think it starts at $300, and it's good looking. Your wife won't say, what is that ugly box in the living room? So I think all in all, my recommendation is to go with a Windows Home Server. You should be able to get them very soon, and I think it's exactly what you want to do. If you're using Windows, it's a very logical extension to Windows.
And we could also share the pictures too, so
yeah,
it's good because you can share
everything.
Albums with people.
Everything. It's a server. And it has security. I mean, I have very high hopes for this. You know, you always say, Microsoft, is it going to be secure? Are they going to have exploits? Yeah, of course they are, but I think they'll fix them. I think this is a very exciting new product for Microsoft. And I have to say, I would say for most people, this is probably a better choice than a network-attached storage. If you're a complete geek, which you obviously are, Nathan, then maybe a network-attached storage has some advantages because it's Linux. You can do RAID 5, things like that. But I think this is a good choice for almost everybody else. Okay?
Yep.
Your kids did great. Did we get rid of them?
Yeah, well, I had to get rid of them.
Dad's busy, a little busy right now being a geek. Nathan, great to talk to you. I loved seeing your family. Thank you so much for sharing them with us.
See you down under.
Soon, I hope. Yeah, take care.
I hope so.
Thanks a lot. Now let's take a trip, not down under, but down over. To Mr. Ryan Ewell. It's time for a Ewell's Jewel.
It is, and this is on the web, and we've talked about how what's on your computer and what's on the web are starting to kind of get blurry.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things like Ajax that can make web applications actually look like they're on your computer.
Right.
So here we have, it's called Zoho, zoho.com.
Oh, I love Zoho.
And so then I'm talking to someone who knows all about it here. It's essentially like an office suite, but it's all on the web. So it's got your writer, it's got your presentation.
It's got more than a Microsoft Office.
Yeah, it's got Wiki.
Incredible, yeah.
So,
and it's mostly free.
It is. So I just signed up, and so I've already done this ahead of time. This is actually Zoho right here, so I'm actually typing.
So you'll log into your account, and then the programs can run.
Exactly. So this is real-time typing here, and I've already.
It is. It keeps up with you.
And I'm going to show you I just saved it locally on my hard drive, so you can save it on the web, so you have it always accessible, or you can save it to your hard drive. Yeah. And so I saved this on my hard drive, and that's a document, a Microsoft document on my hard drive using Microsoft Office Word. So
now I can't remember. Does Zoho have a standalone application version in addition? Like some Think Free Office do that, or is it all online?
I've only come across offhand. I don't know. Everything I've come across is all online now.
So you have to be online to use it.
Yeah.
However, the functionality that you get with this is amazing, and it would be great for an office, for a distributed office, especially where there are people working all over the world.
Or maybe you're at someone's house and you check your online email, and all of a sudden you got to send something back, and they don't have Word on that computer. Just go to the web. You don't even need to have it on your computer anymore.
ZOHO.
Zoho.com.
Zoho.com.
It's a Ewell's Jewel. Go to labwithleo.com.
It's like a dozen jewels in one right there.
It's stuff for free these days is getting better and better every day.
Thanks for the tip. Ewell's Jewels. Again, labwithleo.com.
That's where you
all free, hundreds of them right there just for you. Just for you. More of your calls coming up on this really big shoe. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Oh, wait a minute. First, a quick quiz question of the day. The color of the laser used for Blu-ray discs is blue-violet. We wouldn't ask you that because that's obvious. But what color is the laser used for HD DVD discs? Is it red, violet, blue, or blue-violet? I don't know. Think about it. We'll tell you a little later on as the lab continues.
welcome back to the Lab with Leo. I'm Kate Abraham. I don't know if you can hear the music in the background, but I've got a great little flash game for you to waste some time at work. But don't tell your boss. This is a game that involves hamsters and pillows. So have fun with that. It's called Flight of the Hamster, and actually Sean Carruthers got me onto this. The idea is you're this little hamster down here, and you want to try and hit it with this pillow here. So you click on the mouse. I then click again, and the idea is that my little man here flies through the air.
Yeah.
And the further you get, the problem is that I'm going directly up though, which is going to, and then obviously if I stop playing it, eventually the velocity kicks in and he ends up plummeting down to earth.
Oh, that's bad.
So just watch him. So he's coming down now.
Oh,
you have,
dear.
I think you have 5 or 6 hamsters to play this with, and the further you get, the better. So
This is bad. What's going to happen now?
the idea is
What's going to happen now, Kate?
you're supposed to hit,
Oh, no. Ow.
and I got 44 feet.
So you want to get more feet?
Absolutely.
So you probably shouldn't shoot straight up in the air.
The idea is there's like little jet streams you can kick, and it then kicks you further.
Oh, fun.
But yeah, it's called Flight of the Hamsters.
I like, especially like the Wagner soundtrack in the background.
And it's from digyourowngrave.com.
Whenever I hear Wagner, I think hamsters. I
So
don't know
there you go, hamsters,
why that
pillows.
is. And pillows. Yeah. Very fun. Okay, another
Waste
one I'll
some
be
time
playing.
in the airport.
I was stuck on Stackopolis. Now I'm going to be playing hamsters.
Okay.
Let's get another caller.
Superb. We are going to Warrington, Virginia, and we have Eric.
That's where America Online is. Thank you,
Okay.
Kate. Hello, Eric.
Hi, Leo. How are you doing?
Isn't Warrington near AOL? Am I wrong?
Actually, they were in Reston, but I think that they relocated.
Well, they're all up in New York now, aren't they? Yeah. What can I do for you, Mike? I mean, Eric?
Well,
Whatever your name might be?
Eric.
Eric.
Okay, I was listening to one of your previous podcasts, an earlier one, I think show number 389.
Okay.
And it was in reference to setting up a wireless access point and securing it. Well, we just got ours a couple of days ago.
Okay.
It's all Linksys. This one, we were able to secure it as far as Linksys is concerned, but I just wanted to know if we were actually secure with it.
That's a great question. And yeah, now because of all the attention paid to wireless security, almost all the routers now come with like these, just simple setup things that turn it on and so forth, which is good because in the old days, wireless routers, to make it easy for you, use the least amount of security. And that means, of course, that they were the most dangerous. There is one and really only one thing that matters on wireless security. There's only one thing you can do that makes a difference, and that's turn on WPA encryption. There are other styles. There's WEP, cracked, no good. Sometimes people say, oh, you hide your ID so nobody can see you. Yeah, a casual user can't see you, but a hacker can see you. Sometimes they say you should register the MAC addresses of people who are. None of that stuff does a thing. A hacker can get through all of it except WPA. But if you use WPA, you also have to use a good password. Now, my friend Stephen Gibson, he's a security guru, says you need a 64-character random string. In fact, he's even created a page at grc.com/passwords that will generate a totally random 64-character password for you. The problem with this is you can't remember it. You can't even type it. I think this is kind of overkill, but if you want the ultimate security, it's a good idea. The main thing to know about your password is it shouldn't be dictionary words. It should be fairly long. 10 characters is, I think, enough. If it's random or apparently random string of characters, letters, punctuation, that kind of stuff. I mean, it doesn't have to actually be random. It could just be hard to guess. Are you using WPA? Do you know if that's what you turned on with the Linksys security?
I definitely. Well, I'm using what is it? Wireless access point.
Yeah, it's a WAP. That's what that thing is a wireless access point. Don't confuse that with WPA. WPA stands for Wireless Protected Access, and it means that your signal is scrambled so that somebody who's driving by can't just capture your signal out of the air and see what you're up to, nor can they log onto your network and start using it as if it's their own. And you don't want them to do either of those, and that's why you have to turn on WPA. Sometimes it's called WPA-PSK for pre-shared key. That's fine. You don't need to use the high-quality WPA. The simple 128-bit PSK is fine. That's all you need. So the question is, and now see, this is a problem. If Linksys has this super duper security software but doesn't let you know what it's doing, you can't really be sure you're secure. So what I really want you to do is go into the, don't use the, auto configure stuff. Open the router. You type 192.168.1.1 and that browser will bring up the router interface, and just make sure that on the front, they're looking now as if I'm going to find it. I don't have, well, maybe I do. Will I get a wireless router if I go there on this?
Quite
I
likely.
might. Do you know what the address of our wireless router is?
0.0.1, I believe.
0.0, because it's not a Linksys, it's a D-Link?
This is a D-Link.
Yeah. So it's different for every, there it is. It's different for every manufacturer. But see, now if I log in, I'll get the interface. And all you got, it's always on the front page. You just say encryption, make sure you've chosen WPA, and you're using a good password. And that's, the nice thing about it, Eric, is that's all you need to know. That's it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it did. And there's one more thing. I don't know if you can see my picture on camera.
I can't, unfortunately. Can we see his picture? Oh, there it is. That's not him. That's somebody else. Kate's looking at somebody else. We don't have your feed. I'm sorry. Why? Were you going to show me something?
I sure was. Remember that Yo log that you were talking about?
Yeah.
I actually ordered it, and it's pretty cool.
You ordered you mean Callie Lewis's Yule log?
Yep.
Yeah, it's on your iPhone or your iPod Touch. It's a little burning log.
That's right.
Oh, I'm glad you got it. That actually, Callie raised money for charity with that, and I don't know how many she sold. I'll have to ask Callie about it. But it's the funniest thing you ever saw in your life. Let me play it for you, because it's iUle.tv. I don't even know if she's still selling it. I mean, Christmas is long gone. But the whole idea was you'd have a little video of a crackling fireplace. Yeah, here it is in your pocket. Here's the iUle.tv. Well, I'm glad you got that. Did it warm you up at Christmas time, Eric?
Yes, it did.
Hey, thanks so much for the call. I really appreciate it. See, there it is. See, it's burning. A little fire burning on my iPhone. Oh, it did. It's got nice Christmassy music. It's very pleasant. All right, more of your calls coming up in just a bit when the lab continues. I just got to warm my... I should explain. People might wonder about. In the last segment, I had when you showed my screen, I was apparently looking at a Wikipedia article about Bill Paxton. And I just want to say, I just think he's one of the greatest actors of all time, and I just, I love him like a brother, and so this is actually my new desktop wallpaper. Somebody in there keeps saying I hate Bill Paxton. I don't know.
Game over, man.
Matt Harris, I'm giving him a hard time. He does not like Bill Paxton.
Absolutely loathes Bill Paxton.
I don't understand why. He's a perfectly good actor.
I think the Game Over man line in was it
Was
Alien?
that Tron?
That you
Alien?
absolutely hate. Yeah.
Game over, man. Well, anyway,
Okay, so there
I
you
like
go.
him.
Matt's Achilles heel, Bill Paxton.
It's going to be my desktop wallpaper. Now, let's get another caller on the air.
Fantastic. Our last caller of the day is Mike from Montreal in Quebec.
Fantastic. Hello, Mike. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. You?
Well, it couldn't be better. Is that your axe you're holding there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what do you play?
I play the electric guitar for about 6 months now, and I'm doing great.
What's your favorite band? Who do you steal from? Whose licks do you like?
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden. Now we're talking. Matt, is Iron Maiden okay with you?
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay. He'd prefer it to be Metallica, Mike, but he'll take Iron Maiden. So what can I do for you today?
Well, I want to create some skins on Photoshop, but I don't know how to save them to make them work.
When you're talking about skins for what?
Windows XP.
So you want to create a desktop wallpaper, or do you want to do more than that?
More than that, like toolbars, I don't know.
Yeah, I got it. So let me recommend a tool to do that. Photoshop, it doesn't matter. You could use Jask's Paint. You could use, there's a million different paint programs. You could use Microsoft Paint if you wanted to. But the key is you need to package these things up in a way that they can be a Windows theme. And there are lots of ways to do this. This is my favorite site for customizing Windows. It's a Stardock. They make Object Desktop. Have you ever seen Object Desktop?
I think so.
Yeah, what it is it's a great way to make Windows look like anything you want it to. I mean, you can change the toolbar, the desktop. You can even change the look and feel of Windows, right down to the Windows toolbars, the icons, and all of that stuff. So they have, of course, they sell these. It's a commercial program, $50, but they do want to encourage people. I mean, what good would it be if people didn't make desktops? So they also offer tools for packaging these up and making more skins. You see, they have a whole site full of skins. You want an Iron Maiden skin? I bet you they'd have one.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, or you can make your own, even more fun. So I would go to stardock.com or wincustomize.com, that's the same place, and take a look at their theme creators. You can also, are you on XP, Vista? What version of Windows are you on?
XP, Home Edition.
Okay. So there are also programs that will let you create themes for XP. Here's one called Instant Theme Creator that helps you. Really, all these things do is, this is from Peanut Software, it's $19 to buy, but you can try before you buy, which means you can create your first theme or even if you work fast, your second, third, fourth, and fifth theme absolutely free. All these things do is give you kind of a template so that the size is right, and then they put it in a package that you can open in Windows. You know how when you change the appearance, you choose a different theme. They put it in a package that is appropriate for that, so that you can package it up and give it to other people. So this is actually a pretty good one. It's from Peanut Software at Salted, S-A-L, because it's salt peanut, get it? Salted.com, S-A-L-T-E-D.com, and this is exactly what you want. There are also great sites that will help you do this, like DeviantArt. Have you ever been to DeviantArt?
I have an icon on it, and I put my artwork on it.
I thought you might. All right. So you like it, don't you?
Yep.
Isn't that a great place? And this is a place people go to not only share their art, but to also share Windows themes and a lot of other stuff. This is for people who really love to create art. It's just a really fun place. And some of the art on here is just mind-blowing. I mean, there are people who are really, really good on there. That's DeviantArt.com. They say deviously serving the art and skin community for 2,734 days. Hey, have fun. What is your first skin going to be? Will it be an Iron Maiden skin?
Probably, or I don't know if I'm going to create like a technology thing.
Well, if you create one for the lab, let us know.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, that'd be great. I'd love that, Mike. Hey, thanks so much for watching the show.
Thank you very much.
Rock on, dude!
Rock on.
Game over, man. Yeah. All right, now, Iron Maiden.
Run to the hills.
I knew you'd have an Iron Maiden song ready. Sean Carruthers is here. He does his shinies every day. Great gadgets, fun gadgets. This is shiny.
It is shiny.
People are raving. Is this what I think it is? Is this the one?
It's good Canadian heritage right here. The Harmony One.
This is the Harmony One. Everybody is so excited about this. Now, Harmony was bought by Logitech, so it's no longer Canadian. But this was a Canadian company?
It was a Canadian company. Now it's not anymore.
But it's so beautiful.
Now, there were some issues with the previous generation of the stick remote that they had.
Right.
They tried going to a little, something that was a bit more square. It didn't work out quite as planned. So they've gone back to this, redesigned it, given it a much more flowing design.
Beautiful.
Fits really nicely into the charging cradle,
too.
That's
what's nice. That could sit right on your coffee table and charge up.
Right, and like previous generations of the Harmony remote, it gives you activities so that you can
activities focused.
Right, start up all your DVD player, your TV, all of the other stuff, all at the same time. You can control it by device as well.
Touch screen, which I really like.
It's a touch screen.
Yeah.
It's got buttons down here that they don't look like buttons, but there you go. And you've got actual hard buttons, soft buttons on the screen.
So if I select one of these, what's going to happen?
Well, if you press watch a DVD, for example, you would pre-program this on your computer and send the programming via USB.
Now that's very important. Yeah. You connect this to your computer via USB, and then you go to the Harmony site, and they understand every kind of possible home theater gear.
Right.
So you just say, I have this, and this.
Right. Over the course of a number of years, they've generated user-generated remote codes have been fed into this. Everything. Yeah. So you would say, watch a DVD. It would turn your DVD player on, turn your TV on, set your TV to the right input, turn your amplifier on, set your amplifier to the right input, and just everything is ready to go.
That's what you want. You know, my wife says, you've got 5 remotes. I can't figure out how to watch the TV. So you could just say, well, honey, no problem. I've got a button here that says, turn on Oprah. and it'll turn on Oprah.
Right. Now, it's not 100% foolproof. If you're not pointing at the TV, it'll think it's on, but it's not. But there you go. You
It's
learn
the
to work with it.
ultimate universal remote, I think.
Right, and like I said, almost every gadget that you can think of is already in their database, and if it's not, you can program it yourself.
What are the negatives on this?
Negatives is programming the activities can be a little bit of a pain, especially if it doesn't have exactly what you want.
I'd say the big negative is it's $279.
It's $279, which is a bit expensive. And the one thing is the buttons.
Beautiful.
The buttons on the bottom are a little bit hard to use when you're holding it within one hand, so you want it two-handed sometimes.
But it is a work of art, and I have to say, Harmony's, they've been around now long enough that they've got it down. They know how to make these. Yeah, they're the best.
Even with the little problems, I love it a lot.
Yeah, the brand new Harmony one. Hey, what's $279 among friends? Thank you for Sean's Shiny. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back in just a little bit with Rick Yeager, Mr. Mac Merck. He's going to talk about vectors versus pixels. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. First, our quick quiz question of the day. The color of the laser used for the Blu-ray. Blue. What else? What color is the laser used for HD DVD, the competitor? Is it red, blue, violet, blue, violet, blue, violet, blue, violet? I don't know. She wore blue, violet. I tell you what, you hang out, because we're going to come back and we're going to tell you when the lab continues. Welcome back to the lab. Blu-ray uses a blue-violet laser. What color is used for HD DVD? Is it red? It's blue-violet. It's the same. Well, golly. Actually, the wavelength of the laser determines how much data you could write, so it makes sense. It would be pretty much the same for both. Rick Yeager's here. He's from MacMerc.com, a great site for all your Apple news and your Photoshop tips and tutorials. And today he's going to tell us the difference between vectors and pixels.
Going to try to.
Well, you've brought some props.
I brought some props. I'll just set this up. The problem I have at work is we get clients that we're going to do a stationary package for them, and we ask for their logo, their existing logo, and they say, oh, no problem, I'll grab it off the website, and they send me this GIF file.
That is just not very high resolution.
And the reason is it's pixel-based, and that's a fixed.
You can't blow it up. It's like
resolution.
This.
So I equate this to.
This is pixel-based.
Legos. So if I have this star, it looks pretty good.
At the normal size.
Pretty good at that size.
Yeah. But what if we blow it up?
If we blow it up,
no.
Not so good.
How long did you spend doing that?
I don't want to think about it. Anyway, so the problem is that it
doesn't blow up.
It doesn't interpret any more detail if it's not in there.
Okay, so it's basically this is the same number of dots. We've just spread them out over a larger.
I just expanded it. It's more of these little.
So it's going to make a loud. This would not be good stationary.
Not good stationary, and so that's a pixel-based image. Those are great for web images or for photographs because you can have
photographs have to be that way.
They have to be that way.
And that's why when you blow up a photograph an awful lot, it's going to look a little blocky.
Right. It's at the resolution it was created. You can't really upsample it.
That makes sense.
That successfully.
So that's a bit, or a bitmap, or a pixel-based.
Right. So this is the kind of thing you get from Photoshop, Paint, GIMP, those kind of things. GIF images, JPEGs, TIFFs.
Sometimes they call them rastered images.
Raster images, correct. And well, there's nothing wrong with it. Burt Monroy seems to get by.
With those,
Alex Lindsay, obviously.
Right. Bert's latest painting, which is going to be, I think, 20 or 30 feet. He's taken 4 years, and it's so big. It's got, I can't remember it's like 27 gigabytes.
Wow.
But that's why, because it's a lot of dots.
Okay, so
wouldn't it be nice if we could make it smaller and yet have it scale nicely?
That's when we go to the other side of the toy department aisle.
Kenner's Spirograph.
Kenner's brand new Spirograph.
New.
I
remember when this came out.
So the thing with Spirograph.
My sister and I spent hours
looking for the little green pins in the shag carpet.
Right.
Yeah. So the thing with Spirograph, and if I can get it to hold still.
Yeah.
Can you get this on camera?
Yeah. Well, if we can't, we're just going to miss out on some real fun here.
Here we go.
There you go. He's doing a little spiral thing.
There's my star.
Okay. All right. So that's a vector-based, you're saying?
Right.
Oh,
that's vector-based. Each one of these changes in direction is like a node in Illustrator or some vector-based program.
So in other words, we could describe this with a mathematical formula.
Exactly. Each one of those lines, point to point, is a formula that can be expanded upon. They can change the variable in it to a variable of size to reproduce it in various sizes.
So when you expand that star, it can expand infinitely without getting blocky.
if I had a giant spirograph,
it would look something like
this. And actually, I need to go into my spirograph box.
I didn't remember it coming with this.
Oh yeah, this is the big version.
Rick, you win the prize now for the most outrageous demo. Look, he's going to make a star, and because it's a mathematical formula, not dots, it scales up perfectly. It's just as smooth at this size as it would have been in a smaller size. Look at that. Unbelievable. And now, you know, we can call up the powers of darkness as well. This is
exactly.
Kind of, the Iron Maiden
candles
would love
were ready
this.
to go.
Yeah, no, that's great.
So that's an SVG file, an AI file, and often an EPS. EPS can go either way.
If I use freehand or Illustrator, that's going to create lines that way.
CorelDRAW, AutoCAD.
AutoCAD, same
And if
thing.
you're talking video games, they use vector for the wireframe. They use pixels for the skin that goes over top.
I remember, you know, back in the days of Pong, and the first video game that used vector graphics was a game called Battlezone, where you were fighting in a tank, and it was just green lines, but they would scale beautifully. Yeah, you would steer like that. Remember that? It was a great game. Loved that.
So
there you go. What a good job.
I
He's
hope that
explained
it.
Not only has it explained it, but you've awed me with the size of your spirograph.
Well.
Why, sir, that's the biggest spirograph I've ever seen. Rick Yeager is the Mac Merc. Is this? Are you ever going to be able to use this again? Or are you going to keep it in the office?
I'm going on the road with this show.
You got a show here. All right. No, careful of those big thumbtacks.
Those are giant.
They could be dangerous.
Too.
Rick is at macmerc.com. He's a great guy and knows how to have a good time too. I'll tell you, with his spirograph. We'll be back with final words. Oh, that was the practice one.
Right.
Yeah.
You can hang that on your door.
I'd like to keep that. I'm the star of this show. Or the pentagram. We'll be right back after this. Stay right here. Well, that was fun, and now we know where this little Darth Vader mobile came from.
See?
That's where the Lego came from.
Everything is explained on this show.
I have you win. I mean, Andy Walker does the food demos, but now I think we're going to give Rick Yeager credit for the monster toy demos.
That was amazing. Like, especially the flip over. I was like, okay, we're done.
You know, the funny thing is, I think he had all that in his house anyway.
I think that's what he does at the weekends.
I think that's kind of his thing. So anyway, hey, we're so glad you were here. We hope you had some fun, you learned some things, and I hope you'll tell your friends and come back, because we like to do this every day. It's part of the fun part of this show. If you want to be on the show, your calls are what it's all about. How do they get on here?
Go to labwithleo.com. There's a tech questions site. If you just submit your question here, then we'll give you a call.
It's just a little form like that.
Yeah, it's very simple, very easy, non-intrusive. We'll get you on the show, and then obviously any question we will try to solve for you.
And Brianna will call you.
Yes, Brianna will be calling you. She's lovely.
Lovely Brianna will say hello.
She doesn't sound like an English girl, though.
She doesn't? No. Well, we can teach her to talk.
Exactly. We have to twang her up a bit.
Hello, it's Brianna. I'm calling from the lab. Anyway, we do thank you for being here.
That was really bad.
I just want to say one thing. I want to dedicate this show to the great actor, the legend, the man, the myth, Mr. Bill Paxton. Without him, without him, there would be no great movies like Aliens or Matt Harris is not happy. Hey, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.